I'm live.
Oh, well, we'll edit that in this. Ashton, just see how well it bounces.
Okay. Where are you gonna go?
Just so it's this away from people chattering and hear what it's saying.
1, 2. Can you guys hear me?
At least I can use
Hey, can
it.
you guys hear me? Trey in the back, can you hear me? Give me a
No,
thumbs
it's fine.
up, thumbs down.
At least it keeps it stable.
We can do what we do with my 4-year-old, and you can hear me. Put your hands on your head. Hand on your head. Over your mouth. You guys at the check-in table, can I get your attention real quick? It's a pretty loud, echoey room. First of all, welcome to 2021. Pat yourselves on the back. We all made it. If you haven't, we got bars up front, food in the back. Hopefully you found some old friends to catch up with. My name is Michael Knapp, the chair for 2021 for Texas YCC. The group doesn't exist without all of you guys, so thank you for coming out. I hope you're excited to be in person this year as we are. Last year was kind of a weird year for all of us, transitioning to working from home, doing Zoom calls, team calls, ring calls, whatever platform you guys use. But I missed this, and I hope you guys miss this too. To ensure that we get to keep doing this throughout the year, we want to make sure we're following all the protocols we can. So when you're not eating, when you're not drinking, make sure we got our mask on. Try your best. I know there's probably 200 of us. Our total rolls this year is 270. So maintaining 6 feet is going to be difficult, but just be mindful of that as we're interacting and catching up with old friends. We got a real exciting program tonight. It's going to be short and sweet. It's really about reconnecting, networking. Normally we do this kind of at like OMO or some activity-wise. But we've got Stuart Trilliff speaking today. But mostly this year is going to be about engagement. We want to push member engagement. We want you guys to be involved, get plugged in. And so what we've got is some subcommittees set up that we're going to be looking for a lot of participants, volunteers for. In years past, all we've had is the steering committee for leadership opportunities. We've now expanded that sixfold. We've got 5, 6 committees that we're going to look for people to step up, to be leaders, and take that experience back to your own companies. So with that said, I would like my subcommittee leaders to come up here real quick. So you can, 1, introduce yourself. 2, tell them where you're going to be at one of these tables for others to sign up. And then 3, let's have the rest of the steering committee members come up here too. Just so you can all introduce yourselves. I want you guys to know who's working for y'all this year, putting in extra hours, planning all of these events, making sure the year's worth your time. So with that, we'll start with Kyle. Go ahead and introduce yourself and your subcommittee. What you're looking for.
Howdy, my name is Kyle Kelly with Marsh McLennan Agency. So myself and Austin Minner with Polk Mechanical. Austin's right here. Come on up, Austin. We're government affairs, and so this last go around, for those who are in YCC, we were of course involved in the election cycle with candidates at all levels, from Congress down to local representatives, and it's all about focusing on business aspects, not a lot of the stuff that we hear about, fight about, all those things we don't have to worry about, kind of the social issues, but we're focused on business and focused on business issues. One of the things that we have tried to incorporate for this group is that it's all about the experience of being involved in government affairs. Most people vote. Most people, are engaged with the news in some capacity, maybe less and less right now. But we would offer and invite you all to be engaged. Again, it was elections, and then we're going to have the legislative session is starting right now for 140 days every other year. And so we'll be sending out opportunities to be part of those legislative days that are virtual this year. So actually more people might be able to be part of that. And then we'll have a subcommittee that will give opportunities there as well.
Hey guys, my name is Austin Nutter. I work for Polk Mechanical. Kind of to tag on what Kyle said, what I was telling somebody is in the governmental affairs, we're basically salesmen. So there are people that are a lot more involved than us that know these bills like the back of their hands. And our job is really to go build relationships with these members of the Texas House, Texas Senate, and even in DC. Kyle and I have been in DC together. And then when something pops up that matters to construction and things that we do every day, we've got those relationships. So that's kind of what we do. We have a lot of fun with it. We kind of do a lot of neat things together. If you're interested at all, we'll be back there at our table. Come say hi. We'll talk to you more about it.
Thank you, guys. For those who don't know me, my name is Juan Torres and Chris. We're part of the media committee. If film, editing, pictures, photography, if that's something that interests you and you do that on the side, please get in touch with us. We more than likely want to have a conversation with you and be able to get you involved. I'll let Chris touch up on the member spotlight that we're going to be doing this year and the job site spotlight. But one of the things right before I turn over is asking everybody to engage on those newsletters that we're issuing out. If you're not subscribed to them, I ask that you do. There's a lot of good information. A lot of the information from the subcommittees is going to be pushed through that newsletter. There's going to be involvement for our other subcommittees. So make sure you are subscribing, and then if you're not following, make sure you follow the LinkedIn page. And then sometimes you don't even have to be part of our media committee. If you're on Instagram, if you're on LinkedIn, and you just put a hashtag Texo Brown.
Yeah.
Then that drives engagement, and that kind of just shows what you're doing on the project, and so everybody else can see that. So I'll go ahead and Chris talk to you a little about the other stuff.
Hi everybody, Chris Countryman here. So one thing we're going to be doing this year in the media committee is we're going to be having a job site spotlight. So once a month we'll be posting on LinkedIn. We're going to pick one of the job sites of the members within this organization and just kind of bring some attention to it on LinkedIn. And then as well, we're going to be doing a new member spotlight. So we'll just put like a little picture, a little profile. Just once a month, we just want to highlight one of the members. So those would be 2 spotlights that we're going to be doing this year, just once a month. So just something to help out with. And then just all in all, and with the media committee, we're just going to be kind of focused on just kind of getting the information out there. So just see what we do.
All right, my name is Ty Davis. I am the social chair for 2021. I was the vice social chair last year. Last year we started up a new committee called the Community Development Committee. And our goal was to take the efforts of all 200 plus members that we have in the YCC and concentrate that into a community service and benefit the community around us. We really had done a little bit of work every year here, but we hadn't put a concentrated effort. So we wanted to put a committee together to help direct our efforts. And so last year we had probably 10 or 15 people on the committee. Obviously COVID impacted what we did, but we were still able to have the Hope Backpack Supply Drive, do donations at the Texo headquarters. We ended up donating well over 100 backpacks. We donated meals. Right around Thanksgiving, donated over 4,400 meals, I believe, toward the North Texas Food Bank. And then we also helped the tiny house build last spring, right before COVID hit. So this year we're looking to expand our efforts, do what we can to channel 270 people. I mean, we really had limited attendance last year. We're looking to increase those numbers, and I'm looking to have help on the committee and do what we can. We can really do a lot with our skill sets here in Texo and the subcontractors and everyone else that we have here. So looking forward to it. I'll be at the booth later if you want to come see me, sign up, and be glad to have you on the committee. Thank y'all.
Hey guys, that project's louder than I thought it would. I'm Caddy Mukhtarzad. I'm with the Skiles Group. I'll be leading the Women in Construction Subcommittee. So this will be the first year that we're actually going to have this subcommittee. So you can kind of consider it like a blank slate, and we're going to make of it what we want to be collectively as a group. For those of you who will join, just stop by our table. I'll be standing next to this guy. Come sign up, come talk about it. Look forward to seeing all your faces.
Hey everybody, Brent Geis, Turner Construction. But this year last year we did foundation committee, and that was the first inaugural year for foundation. Really good committee as far as getting involved in the higher things that Texas was doing as a board and the big board. So two main ways that we can get involved. Texo has a couple of committees, one called the high school committee, one called the college committee. And really what we do is help to support those two committees. Last year we had about 26 on the foundation committee. We started off with full head of steam, powered through the AGC student competition. That was really fun. This year it's actually coming up February 22nd. It is a virtual event, but we are looking for volunteers on that. Need about 6. Other events that we got to volunteer at: the play shoot, the golf tournament, the AGC national competition or national conference, which is at the Gaylord. Need a whole host of volunteers for that, about 30 on that one. And then also we're going to try and speak at some high school events this year to really bring the high school experience to what we can offer, and to help students see that there is a way for a great career through construction, whether that be trade or whether that be through what a lot of us do with project management and that aspect. So a lot of cool things happening with the foundation. We are actually looking to sit a couple people on some of the big board Texo foundation committees. So if you're kind of in the range where you might be aging out of YCC in the next couple of years, you're looking to advance your career to the next state, come see us too on that one, because we're really looking to set somebody on that college committee, on that high school committee, on the Texo community committee, and to really act as a YCC liaison and bring information back to us. So both Kenny and I'll be back there. Definitely come see her for Women in Construction as well. Really looking forward to that one, and just starting that one off to the best of our abilities. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you around.
Hey guys, my name is Justin Hilton. I am over the tailgate this year. It's in October. It's one of my favorite events of the year. And we do a meat cook-off, a washers tournament. It's a great time. We need a lot of volunteers, so anybody that's interested in helping, get with me tonight, whenever. So, Texas Tailgate, October.
Hey guys, what's up? My name is Turner Cook. I'm here to talk about small groups. Small groups are just another networking opportunity with this crew of people. We have 5 locations. I did a little poster board there. I went all out with the QR code and everything. Yeah, thank you. We have a Dallas location, a Fort Worth location, a Garland location, a Grapevine location, and then up a little bit north in Legacy. But the goal would be is just another touch outside of this monthly meeting to get to know your fellow coworkers in the industry. Maybe you'll get to meet a subject matter expert that you didn't know. Maybe you'll find another connection of someone to call on. Maybe you'll find another person to bid your project. Or maybe you'll just find a really good friend that happens to live in your neighborhood. It happens every Thursday, or the first Thursday of the month. So the first one will be February 4th, and then whatever the March 1st Thursday is. But it'll happen every month for the rest of the year. I'm asking for people to sign up via the QR code, not only so we know where, if you're coming and if you might make it, but there's a yes or no question. It's the last question, and that's if you can host. I can only be at one location. I plan on being in the Dallas location, but I can be anywhere. I just need 4 other assistants or more to come host and help kind of bring us all in. It should be noted that we try to get a round of appetizers and the first drink on us, so it's for sure worth showing up. If you have any questions, I'll be kind of behind the poster board over there, so come see me.
Thank you, guys. That's just, I think, half the steering committee. Go ahead and make sure you mingle with the people at the booth, Shane and Angelique, Wes. Thank you, guys, for what you're doing, checking people in. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce our speaker for tonight. For those that have been in YCC for a while, you probably know him. I think he's affectionately referred to as the godfather of the YCC. He's been around since the founding. So without further ado, Stuart, please come share with us your experience and your wisdom. That's a heck of an introduction, right? First of all, Bennett, I know you're out there. I was promised walk-up music, so I'm super disappointed already. Maybe around the back or something. There you go. Okay, man. I tell you what. Michael asked me to speak. I was like, duh, like anything, right? I love the YCC, and I know that sounds hokey because most of y'all never seen my face before, but this is like my favorite group, right? And I'll tell you my story just a little bit as to why it's my favorite group, and then I'll end with like a challenge for you guys, right? Is to just really get involved. But you know, I actually texted. I don't think Melanie's here. I actually texted Melanie this week because as I was digging through some files in my office. By the way, I'm a construction attorney. I try not to say that out loud in public too much, but I'm an attorney. I was digging through some old files in my office just last week, and I actually found my acceptance letter for the YCC, and I was like, oh, cool. I wonder how. It's dated April 12th, 2006. Yeah, so I've been hanging out with you guys for a minute or two, or 100. And I'll contrast what 2006 for the YCC looked like against what this looks like, right? In 2006, I showed up at the text office. There were a couple folks who were doing an interview for me, and we just kind of looked at each other and were like, all right, cool, I guess we'll do this. And then I showed up for monthly meetings. And there were, at the time, in 2006, I would say plus or minus 35 people, 40 people. And we just we always went to the Texo office. Someone brought a cooler of beer, and we would usually just sit around and shoot the shoot, right? Like we didn't really know what we were doing, but we knew one thing is like we're all in the construction industry. We're all trying to get better, and we're trying to figure out, what we can learn from each other. And so we did that for a few years. I don't know, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, 4 or 5 years, I don't know how long it went. Until eventually I'd had enough of it. I was like, this is not going anywhere. And I stopped showing up. And I know Lois isn't here, but at the time we still had a mandatory attendance policy. And she kept telling me like, hey, Doug, you gotta start showing up. And I was like, nah, I'm not showing up. And so I just stopped. I was like, I'm not going. And so finally I realized that like, I missed hanging out with those 30 dudes, right? And I was like, okay, I'm getting back in. We're gonna figure this out. We're gonna figure out why we're hanging out. We're gonna figure out what we're doing. We're gonna grow. We're gonna make some impact around here. So in actually I found this email. I'm a nerd. I keep everything. Let's see, this email, I found it yesterday. I was looking for an email from Matt Waterman, who's another construction attorney here. And I found the email I sent to him, his acceptance letter in 2013. And so by 2013, there were a group of us who were deciding we're going to do something different. We decided, we're going to change the way we let folks in. We're going to change the value proposition because what we need is less people like me who said, I don't want to show up because I don't know what this is about. And what we need is people, what we need to do is what at the time was our steering committee. You also steering committee? Steering committee. We're like, we have to present to this group a value proposition that says, I can't miss being here. Right, because it was super easy back in 2006 for me to say, hey, we have a meeting, but you know what? I got a basketball game, and that's more important. And I wouldn't show up. But the value proposition for the YCC in 2013, we said it has to be so high, you can't miss, right? And we tried to figure out, how do we do that? How do we demonstrate to young people like you, as up-and-coming folks who have been identified by your company as the folks who are going to lead in 15 years or so? How do we make this a value proposition that when that time comes, you can't miss this, right? And we thought about a few different ways. We thought, well, we can do it through programming, right? And so we went through this exhaustive list of how we were going to do top-notch programming. And we started having speakers come. And I know you guys still do that. In fact, last time I was in this room, it was flipped around. It was over to the other side, and Jesse Itzler was here. And I don't know how many of you guys were here for that, but it was amazing, right? And that's something that we could have never envisioned, but that's something that, as an outcropping of this idea in 2013, when we said, we're going to make it so good you can't miss, right? So we did it with programming. We did it with some community service ideas. We tried to say, look, people learn people by hanging out with people, right? And so we try to give you opportunities to hang out with each other, meet each other, learn about each other, and figure out whatever everybody was about, right? So we did that through some community service thing. And at the time, our biggest draw was actually our small group, because we forced you into small groups and said, go hang out with these people. It sounds like we morphed that a little bit, which is great, because the thing I love about the YCC is we are nothing but flexible. Like, we'll figure out what needs to be done, and your steering committee is going to do it. But at the time, those small groups formed, and what we saw out of that were groups of people who gelled together and formed lasting friendships. That from that you have dudes who have been best men in people's weddings, people who are legitimately the godfather of other folks' children, people who are in small groups and community groups and hanging out together, not because they love construction, but because they've learned to love one another, right? And I know that sounds hokey and lofty, but it's the God honest truth that the best value proposition that the YCC has right now is you, right? And you don't know it yet because you haven't met everybody yet, you haven't dove in yet, but the best value proposition that the YCC has is right here. Because you have an opportunity right now to begin the process of building and developing your network. Building and developing your network for friends. You can say, man, I'm having this problem, can you help me? Industry peers, you can say, I'm looking for a great landscape contractor. Can you find somebody who can help me? And at the end of the day, people who, those old community groups those old small groups have now turned into like community groups of peer groups, and they have leaders of organizations in them who are saying, you know what? I need to find a CFO for my company. Can you help me find one? I need to figure out how to tackle an HR problem in my office. How have you guys handled that? And so this is a group that you can leverage starting now, so that when your day comes and you get the call and there's a C in front of your title at the office, your network of people will be strong and it will be robust because of the people in this room right now. I know that sounds hokey. I promise I know it sounds hokey, but there are folks in here who are older who can attest to this. They're on the way out like I was on the way out and can say, you know what, I'm in one of those groups. You know what, I dove in with those people and that's true. You know what, I showed up, I didn't know folks, and I just walked up to somebody and said, hey man, where do you work? Tell me about your job. Let's grab lunch next week. And I became friends with them. And now that person is an asset to me personally and professionally, right? I'll sort of end with this is, a few of you know this, and this actually isn't a plug, but a friend of mine, Kevin, and I are doing a podcast. It's called 1720. It's okay. If you like okay podcasts, go check it out. But we're actually interviewing a lot of industry professionals that we met through the YCC. And one of our episodes we did was on the value of community, talking about what we learned through the YCC and how that's influenced what we're doing now. And now we have groups of folks around us to help us, support us, and grow us. And so if you don't believe me, go check it out and listen to what Kevin's talking about and a number of other people who showed up on there talking about the value of this organization. And I guess I'll just leave it with that. I mean, there's your challenge. Don't be a wallflower, because you're going to get out of this what you put into it. In a second, I'm going to turn the mic off and walk off the stage, and 35% of you guys are going to be like, see ya, I'm headed out. And I would encourage you not to do that. Just linger for a minute, say hello, get somebody's cell phone number, check in with them tomorrow, because this is where your future starts. And I know it sounds hokey, but I promise it's true.
Thank you, Stuart. And he is way underselling that podcast. 1720, 1720, spelled out the 20 numerical on 17. It's really good. Check that out. So we're going to have our subcommittee leaders at some table somewhere, sign-up sheet, these black tables in the middle. Like Stuart said, accept that challenge. Let's get involved. Make 2021 different than every year in the past. Thank you guys for coming to hang out, grab some food, grab some drinks, meet some of the new members.